Lam got to the US. He arrived in October 2023 on the US Visa Waiver Program, which allows tourists to stay up to 90 days without a visa. Fast forward, and it's been more than a year, and he's clearly overstayed.
That's one thing about them visas. It's so hard to get one of them for real, for real. So the fact that, you know, he got a little finesse like that, I know he was lit. He was probably like, oh, I got him. I got to go. I'm about to go to America. I'm about to heat it up over here. I'm about to turn him up. He had a plan, for real, for real. Because one thing about them visas, they want to know if you got something back home. They want to know when you going back. Yeah, shout out to all my homies.
His welcome. Court documents also revealed that Lam had no permanent residence while he was in the US, and he wasn't employed, so essentially he had no legal status there. Nonetheless, he apparently toggled between LA and Miami, where he was eventually caught. Now, let's look at the scam, one of several since at least August this year that landed Lam in trouble with the feds. Online, Lam goes by the monikers Anne Hathaway and $. His partner in crime, John Dale,
that boy name was $. You know he was trying to get some money.
Serrano, calls himself Versace God and @Skidstar. They came up with a plan to scam someone in Washington, D.C. We'll call him the victim. They chose him because he was a high net worth investor from the early days of cryptocurrency. A lot of planning went into hoodwinking the victim. Prosecutors called it sophisticated social engineering. It's basically a fancy term for someone gaining the trust of another in order to extract sensitive information. Their modus operandi worked like this. The goal was to make the victim think that his Google account was being compromised. In the week leading up to the theft on August 18th, a third person was roped in to send him notifications. These were fake alerts of unauthorized Google account access, and the attempts also looked like they originated overseas because proxy and VPN services were used. So imagine if you kept getting...
Bro, they had a whole plan. I'm telling you, he just had to get here. The boy I'm telling you, that boy he was scheming.
Multiple notifications saying that someone was trying to get into your account. How would you feel? Worried? Bingo, cue Lam and Serrano. On August 18th, they called the victim pretending to be from Google's support team, saying that there had been an attempt to hack his account and they needed to shut it down. They convinced the victim to divulge his account security codes. Lam then allegedly accessed the victim's OneDrive and Gmail, where he found the victim's Gemini crypto records. There are screenshots of conversations between Lam and
records just from his Gmail and everything. Like, come on.
Serrano as evidence. And then, to make it more believable, Lam and Serrano then upped the ante, calling the victim and this time pretending to be from Gemini's security team. They convinced him that his accounts had been compromised and then got him to transfer about $3 million worth of crypto into a wallet controlled by Lam. They then got the victim to download a remote desktop connection program for security. He agreed, and this gave Lam and Serrano real-time access to his computer. All this time, remember, they're still on the phone call. Serrano allegedly manipulated him into opening various files on his computer, including those with private keys to his Bitcoin. While Serrano was on call with the victim, Lam used the access keys to steal more than 4,100 Bitcoin, worth more than $230 million at the time. These screen
Bro, I'm telling you, it's crazy because Bitcoin, Bitcoin and all this is very much his own platform of his own banking. It's very untrackable in its own way. That's why they go through Bitcoin. And it's so profitable because it's everywhere. It's a market. He was going hot. He was making them big flips. And he was scamming them, though. Stealing your own personal stuff, though. This guy is dangerous. They had to get him off the... They had him.
Recordings track how they did it step by step using a mirror program. And you can see Lam's Anne Hathaway and Serrano's Versace God display names here. So, what did they do next? Well, Lam and Serrano allegedly laundered the funds through various mixers and exchanges using peel chains and digital wallets.
So
And
they
then
were
the
laundering.
opulent spending spree. Travel, nightclubs, swanky cars, jewelry, watches, designer handbags, and ritzy rental homes.
Boys.
Lam bought
They were outside living like GTA this time. No cap.
31 luxury cars, including custom Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and Porsches. Some were a cool $3 million US. 22 of these are still missing as of September 24th, including this one. Serrano rented this house in California at $47,500 US per month. Lam also splurged on multiple home rentals in LA and Miami, including on Hibiscus Island. One had a monthly rent of $68,000 US.
If I'm not being honest, these the islands that you down there pass through when you take the tour off, you know, the coast of Miami. Fly shit. That shit beautiful though.
Lam also went big at nightclubs in Miami and LA, burning through about $500,000 US each time.
That boy was really moving money, burning through $500,000. How did they been just come through? Like, what the fuck? One a few nights, they gonna be thinking like, who the fuck is this guy? Over here going crazy, living stupid. He probably bought out the whole club that night. We don't even know who he is. It was just bound to crash. Yeah, but he legend. I ain't gonna lie. That boy did some things. If we could ever get some real talk from him, oh my God.
But the fun didn't last long, and their extravagance was short-lived.
Oh, we knew it wasn't
On
gonna last
September
long.
18th, exactly a month after the theft, Serrano was arrested at Los Angeles airport after he came back from the Maldives with his girlfriend. She tipped off Lam, who immediately deleted his Telegram account. On the same day, Lam was nabbed by police in Miami. According to the Miami Herald, the FBI raided this posh waterfront home, said to be a celeb favorite Airbnb rental. And at another house, they seized cars and watches. Lam was charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering in a U.S. district court in Florida on September 19th. On November 14th, he appeared before a judge in Washington, D.C. for a pre-trial hearing to discuss the disclosure of evidence. That's where he requested a speedy trial, which means that the trial cannot be delayed indefinitely. His attorney, Scott Armstrong, told us, Mr. Lam is 20 years old and unfortunately caught up in a very complicated case. We will vigorously defend him. Lam is currently in remand in Virginia, and he'll return to court on January 9th next year for another pre-trial hearing. For each offense, he faces up to 20...
What y'all even think about? Look at this guy. What do we got to think about him? Like, literally, what do we say, bro? He has a lot going coming up with his stuff, and they probably gonna try to throw the book at him, but most likely he's too very useful. Like I want to know what was the grand scheme behind this, cause he was blowing and living money fast. Though. He was scheming, but what was the real thoughts going behind this? This is what I be getting into, you feel me? Because everything got a backstory. His is definitely crazy. That's why I was interested. Like, he got me. Like, I know it probably didn't last long with his journey doing this, but he got me the way he was living. He was doing some wild things. But, hey, this is a good one. I love it.
years in jail, and he could be fined up to $250,000